If you're using Fusion 360 every day, small inefficiencies add up fast. A few extra clicks here, a few unnecessary steps there, and suddenly you're wasting hours every week. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 essential features that will significantly improve your productivity, speed up your workflow, and save you serious time. And this isn't just about working faster, it's also about working smarter. Fewer repetitive actions means less frustration, less fatigue, and even less strain on your wrist and hand over time. Let's get started. The first thing that will significantly speed up your workflow is using shortcuts. Existing shortcuts we can find by clicking on these menus, and beside of command we can find letter E for extrude, letter H for hole, and so on. In modify, fillet, press pull, move. Also we can see shortcuts by hovering over these commands. Line shortcut is L, as we can see. 2-point rectangle shortcut is R. Circle shortcut is C. Dimension D, and so on. So now we will see how to use them in our workflow. First, we will create new design, select hybrid design, and these parameters we can choose depending on our project. And we will click create new. Now I will save this file. I usually do like that and call it productivity and save. Now I will create new component. We can leave this name, component 1, and click OK. Now I can go here and press create sketch and select this plane. So if we want now to create a rectangle, press R and create rectangle. Also I can press C to create circle, press L to create line, press D to activate command dimension, and so on. So now I will delete this dimension, delete this circle, and delete this line. So now we will create this rectangle. Let's do it again. I will delete this rectangle and press R on keyboard and create new rectangle. Now I will center this rectangle using these horizontal or vertical constraints. I will center this here and this here and give dimensions. So 300 is width and 200 is height. And now instead of clicking finish sketch and selecting command extrude and typing dimension, let's say 20. So instead of this, I will undo this, go back to sketch command, and here press E to extrude. So on keyboard I press E, and this immediately activated extrude command even if we are in sketch environment. So I just type 20 here and we have our thickness of this element already created. So what if we want to assign shortcut to some of these commands? Let's see in this menu. Let's see some of these commands that don't have already assigned shortcut. Let's go to pattern because we will need this pattern command. Let's see, there is no shortcut, so we can click here to change keyboard shortcut, and here we can use Control P for pattern, Control P. And now we have assigned this shortcut to command pattern and click OK. So if we now want to create sketch on this plane, we can select this plane, select create sketch, And now we want to use, so if we want to use circle, we can go here and press this circle on this menu, or we can use shortcut C for circle. Press on keyboard C and select center of circle, and let's say diameter would be 20. And now we have this circle created using a shortcut C. We can now add some dimensions. Let's say this dimension is 60, and let's constrain this circle to center of this rectangle. Right click and press OK. So now we can, while we are still in sketch command, we can press E and activate extrude command and go here and say -5. And now we have this feature extruded in our object. One more interesting shortcut is shortcut A. So we press A and we have this appearance command activated. So if we want to change material or color of this element, we can go, let's say, here and select this color and assign it to our object and close. So A for appearance. The second thing that will significantly speed up your workflow is using parameters. So we already created this object. Now we can go here to this sketch, double click on this sketch, and we have these dimensions. So now we can double click on this dimension and name this parameter as width, or W, equals to 300, and press enter. So we name this parameter. Now this parameter has name W, and we will name this parameter as height, or age, equals to 200 millimeters, and press enter. We finish sketch. Now we have this extrude. This parameter is has already D4 name assigned, but we will rename it. We will give it name T as thickness. T equals to 20, and we press enter. Now we have all these parameters named, and we will now try to change these dimensions. We can go here to modify, change parameters, and let's move this so that we can see it better. And in this field here, filter all parameters, we can type name of our parameter, let's say W, and we have W is 300 millimeters. Let's say it's 500, and as soon as we type 500, we have this dimension edited. Now instead of we will type age, and we have this parameter 200, we will say 400, and we have this dimension updated, and we can also edit this T parameter. Instead of 20, we can say 30 and enter. Now we see how we can easily change these parameters from this change parameter menu, and we can say OK, and we now have these parameters changed. I will undo all this. Using parameters can be very helpful when we have assemblies with many components that are connected to each other, and instead of changing dimensions of several elements, if we have these parameters well created and connected, that can be done very easily, and all that can be done fast, many faster than without parameters. You can see a good example of using parameters by clicking that link that's shown on upper right corner of the screen. Next thing that can significantly improve your workflow is using patterns. If you have more features of the same form and the same dimensions, using patterns will save you a lot of time. Now, if we want to see how to use that, we can try to add pattern to our part. So if we want to have another feature like this, we can go to sketch, select this plane, go to circle, create circle, and use dimensions or constraints. Let's constrain this to center of this circle and go again to extrude and say -5 as we had, and we have another. And if we want more, we can do it like that, but it is very time consuming, so we will not do it that way. We will use pattern. I will undo this, Control Z, and now we go here. We can select here what we want to use in our pattern command. We will select features and we will select this extrude feature. Now we choose axis, select this axis. Here we have spacing or extent. I will choose spacing. Now we have to type here what will be spacing between these elements. Let's type 30. Instead of 3, we will type here 9 as quantity. So this goes all to one direction. If we want to use it in one direction, that's okay. We can change that here. In this situation, we will use symmetric and we will have this pattern created. Also, if we want this pattern to go in this direction too, we can edit that here. Let's say this dimension is 30 again, and we have 5 or whatever rows we want. I will say just 2 here and click OK. So now we have this pattern created. It is much faster than creating all these elements one by one. We can also change this very easily by clicking 5 here or clicking 5 here or whatever pattern we need. Also, we can add here parameters. Instead of just 5, we can type here count 1 equals 5, count 2 equals 5. We can name this parameter as dist1 equals 30 and this parameter dist2 equals 30 and press OK. Now we can go here in modify menu, change parameters, type here count 1 and we have count 1, 5, we can say 2, enter, and we have updated. And here instead of 5 we can click 3, enter, and it's updated, and we can say OK. Also we can modify distances, go to modify, change parameters, type dist, and we have this dimension, let's say 50, let's say 40, and we have updated these two and say OK. This is another use of parameters. The next very important feature that can speed up your productivity in Fusion is using command duplicate with joints. So if we go to our assembly and create new component, that's component 2, name is OK, and we click OK. Now in this new component we go to sketch, select this plane and create circle, let's say 15. Now press E to extrude 50, and we have this new element created. Now we will press A on keyboard and assign some color to this element. Close this appearance window. Now I will join this object by pressing J on keyboard, selecting this point on this component and this point here, and choosing here rigid join and click OK. Now if we go to assembly, now we have a rigid joint applied between these two components, so they cannot move one in relation to another. If they move together. Now what we can, if we want to add these elements to all these holes, we can create new component, copy this component, Control C and then Control V to duplicate this component. Press J on keyboard to join this component to this component and press OK. Now we have rigid joints applied here and here, as you see these symbols. So there is a faster way to do this. I will undo this, undo creating new component. Now I will use duplicate with joints command. Go to assembly and we have duplicate with joints. I have assigned this shortcut here, but I will now just press duplicate with joints, select. It asks us to select component. I will select this component, and it asks us to select point where we want to snap our component. I will go here, select this point. Now this, and this, and that's it. We can see here it creates these joints immediately, and we have all these elements joined as you see here. So we can hide these joint symbols by going to display settings, object visibility, and deselecting joints. And now if we change these parameters, go to modify, change parameters, and change these distances. Distance 1, let's say 70. We have all these components moved together, and instead of 40 we have 50. We have it all moved together. The last thing I want to mention is using a 3D mouse. If you spend hours working in Fusion, navigation becomes a huge part of your workflow. Clicking, rotating, zooming, orbiting, you're constantly moving around your model. A 3D mouse allows you to navigate smoothly in all directions at the same time without interrupting your modeling process. Models designed for left-hand use are especially useful because they free up your right hand to focus entirely on precise modeling with the regular mouse. They also significantly reduce the number of clicks and repetitive movements, which takes pressure off your fingers, wrist, and even your shoulder over time. It might seem like a small upgrade, but over weeks and months, it saves time, improves workflow fluidity, and makes long design sessions much more comfortable and sustainable. Now I would love to hear from you. What tools, tricks, or techniques do you use to speed up your workflow in Fusion? Drop a comment below and share your favorite productivity hacks. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss further tutorials packed with time-saving tips. Thank you for watching.